If you've been watching TV recently, you'd recognise today's On.Point guest as one of the contestants on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Scarlette Douglas is a seasoned TV presenter who's also graced our screens as the presenter of A Place in the Sun, Worst House on the Street, and many other top shows. Scarlette, thank you very much for coming on Point and welcome back to Dubai.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for welcoming me back to Dubai. I love it here. I love it.
On the note of being back, I had in my diary that you was coming, and the next minute I saw you announced as one of the contestants on I'm a Celebrity. So how did that kind of come about?
Yeah, it was all very, very quick. I had a meeting with the production company that made the show called Lifted. They used to be ITV Studios. And it was just a general meeting, me and my brother, so we present a show called Worst House on the Street together. And my agent got us a meeting just to have a little chat, see what it is that we would like to do, is there any shows that maybe we could work on with them. And it was probably one of the worst Zoom meetings I've ever done, ever.
Wow.
And not because it was bad, because it was terrible, it was just carnage. So I'm driving through Spain, I was filming another property show at the time. I have a show called My Dream Derek Home in the Sun. I've got my phone kind of like on the side there on a FaceTime, so I shouldn't really be looking at the phone. So I was kind of, they were looking up my nose, which is not the best angle. And then my brother is walking around B&M in Bournemouth and his signal's going and then he calls back in and then I'm talking and then they freeze and it was just one of those Zooms where everyone was laughing, everyone was thinking, what's happened? Like, have we all lost the plot? Is it Friday night? Does everyone just want to go home? But I think because it was so unusual, we weren't nervous. We weren't there like, oh, hello, we'd like to see this. We weren't very kind of strict and straight with it. The talent booker, they absolutely loved the two of us and they just thought we were brilliant. So about a month or so after that, I got a phone call asking if I would be interested in going into the jungle. And I think from literally being asked if I was interested to doing the Zoom to then finding out I was actually going to be going in was about 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And then I had maybe 5 days or 7 days after that to get myself in order, change my entire schedule for the rest of the year, rebook Dubai, and then get out to Australia. So it was very, very quick. But I'm glad it was quick because I might have talked myself out of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was so excited to see you.
Oh, thank you.
One of the highlights for me was when you taught everyone the electric slide.
Yes. Highlights for some people, lowlights for others.
Yeah. What would you say one of your favourite and maybe most petrifying moments?
One of my favourite moments, I think everyone asks me this, what's your favourite moment? So as much as I've said before, I would have talked myself out of it, I'm so glad I didn't because it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. And being in the camp is probably this size, the main camp is tiny.
Okay.
And then you have the bigger parts of camp. So you go down to get your log wood, you go out and do your challenges and your trials, you've got a swimming pool, you've got your shower. That part of it's big. And then the whole jungle, obviously it's a real jungle, it's very vast. So you're travelling around a lot.
I'm actually wearing green because of the jungle.
Hey, come on, Nathan, I love that. I didn't get the memo.
It's okay.
But I think just kind of being in that space, I've watched the show many times. So when I walked into camp, I was just thinking, oh my God, I'm here, I'm actually here. And there's a treehouse section where sometimes we'd go and sit up and look over at camp. And it was like you were watching it on television. And you kind of forget that you have your numbers on the back. Like when you watch TV, oh my gosh, they've got their numbers. It was just such a surreal experience. But my best part was just being in there with the people I was in there with. I was singing duets with Boy George. I was hanging out with Mike Tyndall, who's a royal. Like all these random things that were happening were incredible. And I think probably one of the hardest moments or scariest moments at the start would have been anything to do with spiders. I hate spiders. I don't know anyone that does like spiders. So why I said I'll go in the jungle, I don't know, because they're huge in Australia. They're probably like thicker than my hand and they're weird and wonderful colours and they can sprint like I've never seen things move so fast in my life. So those are the things that I was most scared of. But by the end, at the start I was running away from them crying. By the end I was helping catch them. I was like, right, let's get
Did you name any?
Absolutely not. No, I didn't get that close. Like, hey, dude, how's it going? I'm going to call you Bob. No, I did not name any. But yeah, I think that was probably the hardest moment. There was a moment that was difficult for me. I'm a very upbeat, positive person, and I think when Charlene left after 2 weeks, we realised that we were at the point now where people were going to be getting eliminated. And the whole vibe and dynamic changed in camp. And normally I can lift spirits up and I'm like, come on guys, let's get going again. And I was absolutely that person throughout my time there. But at this point I just couldn't bring people's energies up at all. And I really struggled with that. And I had a little moment, I had a little cry, and I was like, right, babe, you just need to get on with it because you can't control people's emotions or feelings. You can do your best, but if they're not going to take to that, then you just have to leave it to them.
Yeah, that's all you can do, is try your best, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And then once I realised that, I was like, cool, it's just
and from there, I've seen you on loads of shows. I mean, you've been on Lorraine, you've been on Good Morning Britain recently.
Yeah.
How's that all been? It's been
amazing, Nathan. I've been so lucky. I got into presenting, as you know, as a property presenter, because I do property development. So that was my niche, my unique selling point, my USP, if you will. And it's great. It's a great entry into TV. But I love entertainment. My passion is singing and dancing and music and films and fashion. That's where I come from. So being able to do I'm a Celebrity got me seen by ITV and showed people a complete different side to me. And I came out technically third, but second, the way the kind of voting system worked. And I was gutted. But ITV were amazing and Lifted were like, you came out way too soon, we love you and we want to see more of you. So actually not winning is winning for me because it's worked in my favour, because yes, I've come out and I've done Lorraine. I have my own section on Lorraine now. I covered on Good Morning Britain, Richard Arnold's section there, the entertainment guy. Everyone knows him, everyone loves him. I covered on that and I got great feedback and everyone loved me, so that was lovely. I've got all these different campaigns that are coming up and it's great because now I can do what I set out to do in the first place. I just had to kind of take a detour.
Yeah.
So now I get to do the fashion on Lorraine or music or just entertainment in general, and it's like I feel like I've kind of been reborn in the presenting world.
So launched you, I guess.
Yeah, it absolutely has, because my profile was there before, but nothing like it's been now, and people know me for so much more than just property. So I feel really lucky that I was given that opportunity and that other people now are seeing me for the other things I do and giving me a platform.
Well, I'm lucky to have you with me.
Yes, I'm happy to be here.
And you mentioned property.
Yes.
A Place in the Sun is what got me to move to Dubai 9 years ago.
Is it?
I used to love watching it, and I just dreamt about living and working in a warmer climate.
Yeah.
So, you're kind of a part of that legacy.
Oh.
So thank you for being a part of that.
You're welcome.
I mean, how did it begin? Where did your interest in kind of TV presenting, where did that come from? Yeah.
So I did musical theatre first of all. I used to perform in the West End on the stage. I would sing and dance and prance around stage. I loved it. But I also knew that as a dancer and as a singer, especially a dancer, your lifespan is quite short. So if you get to 27, 28, 29, 30, it starts to get a lot harder. And then you've got the young ones coming up that don't get injured as much. If they do get injured, it's quicker for them to get recovered. The older you get, the harder it is. It's the same.
I wake up and I've got an injury.
Literally, I wake up now, I try to get out of bed, I'm like, oh, what's going on? So I thought I need to find something that I can do at any age. And what can that be? I love to talk, I talk a lot. So voiceovers, I got into voiceovers first of all. I've got a nice husk to the voice, so that helps. They're like Marks and Spencer's chocolate gâteau, dessert cake. You know what I mean? You get that kind of a little velvety texture to the voice. So I did quite a few voiceovers, still do voiceovers. And then I got into presenting. So my brother, I have two brothers, they were both footballers, and the eldest one got into property development, and then he kind of brought me along with him because I didn't have a pension. I should have signed up for the equity pension when I did musicals, but I didn't. So my brother said, what are you going to do when you can't sing and dance anymore? What do you mean? I'll be able to do jazz hands for the rest of my life. I had to really be serious. So I used my kind of creative flair and turned that into doing the interior design of the things, of properties. Stuart would do the more kind of restructuring of properties. He'd work with the architect. Let's take that wall down, let's put this wall up, let's make it open plan.
Let's build this.
Exactly. Whereas I would then come in and say, right, I think this room needs this texture, that colour, that style, this furniture. Which was great because I could still create something. And I love creating things. So because I had the expertise, I actually ended up going on tour with Anton Deck as a backing dancer. I did a musical and I went on tour with them. And just being with them made me realise I absolutely want to be a presenter. I used to do silly backstage mock-up videos and interviews and stuff. And then I asked them if I could interview them. They said yes. And they said, Scarlett, if you want to do this, you should really focus on it because you're actually really good. And they kind of helped me. They gave me a lot of tips and ideas and ways of getting in. And one of them was, what do you have as your USP? What can you use? What's your niche? That kind of is your expertise that sets you aside from other black girls that want to be a TV presenter. And that for me was the property development side of things. I think as black people we're told, okay, you're entertainment, so you sing, you dance, you act, you're a sports person, you're an athlete, whatever. people don't really see us as property developers or bankers or all the other things that we can absolutely do. So I was like, right, I'm going to use that as my way in. And I had a presenting agent because I'd won a competition with MTV to be the face of MTV for a week. And I went back to her and said, look, I've had this meeting, spoke with Ant and Dec. They suggested that I use my property background as a way into presenting. They didn't even know I did property because it's something I just did on the side.
And never told them.
Never told them, didn't think it was important. Yeah, it was a separate thing. And the same day I had that meeting with them, they said a place in some were looking for presenters that had a property background and expertise. So I had to like fill in a questionnaire on email. I did a Zoom with them, did a screen test that got approved by both Channel 4 and the production company Freeform that made the show. And then I got the job, and that was
the rest is history.
Yeah, 6 years ago. I officially finished, not December just gone, the December before I was done.
Okay.
And I guess now we're at nearly 7.5 years since I first started my journey into presenting.
And it's going extremely well. I mean, you mentioned race. I think diversity has improved on our screens, but do you think there's still a way to go?
I do still think there's a way to go. What do you think is a kind of a barrier to that? I think television companies, and sorry ITV, I'm going to say it, and I've just been with your show, but there's a reason why.